Hello, everyone. Welcome to Calling Glass. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the club. My name is Alvaro, as always. And today in the podcast, preview of the NBA Finals 2025, Oklahoma City Thunder versus Indiana Pacers. Let's see it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the pod. Today, like I said, I'm going to run through the preview of the NBA Finals. I'm gonna check some stats, and then I will give my personal opinion about these finals and my prediction. But first of all, there is something else to comment. Is because Tom Thibodeau, the former coach of the New York Knicks, the former coach of the Eastern Conference finalists, New York Knicks, has just been fired. Which is surprising, to be honest. I don't think this will happen. Personally, I don't love Tom Thibodeau. I think he's a good coach. He's a good floor riser. I don't think he's a great ceiling, I don't know how to say it, like riser also. I think the Knicks have a great team, but I don't think he's really squeezing. I mean, he's squeezing everything out of the 6 players that play, but I feel like there is more to that team. So maybe maybe this could be a good decision. There is also good coaches without a team. I don't think about Michael Malone as a good coach for the Knicks. I think he's kind of similar style to Thibodeau. Maybe Taylor Jenkins could be someone different that could do a good job with them. Having said that, I'm gonna deep dive into the finals, into the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers. So let's go to it. Regular season records. Oklahoma has won 64 games and lost 18, and they are the first seed in the West and the whole NBA. Indiana Pacers, on the other hand, won 50 games and lost 32 for the 4th seed in the East. I looked here at stats since 1st of January of 2025. So a bit more than half the season. In that span of time, only regular season, 1st of January until 14th of April, Oklahoma City Thunder has had the best offensive rating of the whole NBA. Indiana Pacers have been the 7th best offense in the NBA in this time. In defense, OKC as well first, the best defense of the NBA. Indiana 9th best defense. Total net rating, OKC surprisingly also first of the whole NBA. Indiana Pacers 6th in the whole league since January 1st. Now, I also look at a very crucial stat, which is pace. Both teams are known for playing with out of pace. It's true that they get this pace differently. One of them is by pushing in defense and getting steals and running in transition. The other one is just more about the way that they play offense. So OKC, full season, they are the 6th fastest team in the NBA. 6th highest pace. And Indiana Pacers are the 7th highest pace of the whole NBA in the whole season. So similar here. In their heads-to-head, so each team has played each other, they have played each other twice this season, so there is not like a lot to dig in. You cannot take much out of context, only from 2 games. Both games went for Oklahoma. Nothing surprising, maybe something interesting is that Indiana Pacers, their turnovers, stayed average around 12, 13, and OKC, in the other hand, per game against Indiana, only turned over the ball 6 times per game when their average is 12. So that was surprising. It means that maybe Indiana's defense didn't impose much of a problem in OKC. And also, in terms of field goal percentage, Indiana dropped from 49 of their average to 46% against OKC, while OKC maintained their 48% from the field goal. That's the only interesting data in between those teams. Also, Shea scored 39 points per game in between those two games. So he was clearly feeling good against Indiana. But again, only two games, not a big enough database to jump into conclusions. Now, I will go with my subjective view, my opinion, and I will start saying that OKC and Indiana, they are similar but inverted teams. OKC defense is collective, fast with lots of active hands, and a deep rotation of solid perimeter defenders. Indiana, on the other hand, their offense is fast, collective, with lots of passing and a deep rotation of guys who can shoot from outside. So similar, fast, quick, collective, young, but reversed. One is in the offense and one is in the defense. So what's going to prevail? That's point one. What's going to prevail? Offense or defense? So talking about this point, I feel like OKC faces an issue is that how, or I don't know if their defense is going to be able to impose itself on Indiana because the Pacers are constantly playing in transition. There is barely any one-to-one. There is barely any stationary plays. Everything is running. There is not many bounces. There is just passes. And in the other hand, OKC, what they do very well is play defense on their court. And they are great at collapsing a bit with out of small players with this handsy defense, touching the ball when they are bouncing and getting steals. But if Indiana doesn't play this 5-on-5 offense and they don't bounce, they don't dribble that much, and they don't play that much one-on-one, I feel like it's going to be difficult for OKC to do what they did in the previous rounds. Like they did against Jokic, like it was just like ants going all against the B, or against, well, in this case, Anthony Edwards, which he is the ant, but I'm going out of the topic. But yeah, I feel like there is I want to see how does Oklahoma's defense work on this Indiana's offense, which is something that OKC hasn't seen yet in these playoffs, this kind of offense. Although, to be fair, for Indiana's offense, the best possible defenders are probably in OKC because they have the perfect match in between speed, quickness, etc. But here I move on to the second point, and it's that there is one player in Oklahoma that doesn't fit well in defense against these Pacers, and it is their German-American dude, Isaiah Hartenstein. He's slower than the Pacers, and I don't know how comfortable he's stepping out to the three-point line. Probably not that much. And I don't see a player that he can play defense on in these Indiana Pacers. If he plays defense on Miles Turner, which is a possibility, he's going to have to step out to the three-point line a lot. And that also means that Chet Holmgren has to play defense on Siakam, which I don't know if that's the best match for Chet. What I think could happen is that probably Caruso plays out much more minutes than Hartenstein, and he picks up Siakam. And Caruso is usually used to playing against guys much bigger than him, as he did against Jokic. So I feel like that could be an adjustment, and I feel like Hartenstein is not going to see many minutes in this series. Although, I'm thinking now that maybe they could put Hartenstein in Turner, Chet maybe in Naismith, so he can roam and block shots and help. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happened there. And then third point, it's mentality and end of games. I feel like I trust more Indiana and Halliburton in tough endings, in close endings, than I trust OKC. It's not that I don't trust OKC, it's just that what I have seen from Halliburton and Indiana has amazed me. Many games they have come from behind in the last quarter and they have won it. Many games there has been a crucial buzzer beater or shot in the last seconds to win the game. And I feel like they are ready for this. They don't get nervous and they're prepared and they execute and they believe a lot. I feel like this team, the Indiana Pacers, mentality wise, they are above OKC. I think they are more mature. And I think they have more heart and more faith in what they do. And I think that can be a key in their. Again, I'm not saying anything wrong of OKC, but if I have to choose who I think takes the advantage when there is 1 minute left, I feel like Indiana and Halliburton have shown me already that they're ready for the big stage and that they actually want and love these last quarters and last minutes. So, yeah, and I also see that there's a lot of rotation players in Indiana that they believe in this team. They believe in their role and they stick to the role. And they have a lot of heart and a lot of faith. And I think that's important. Also, to add to that, talking about Halliburton, Siakam is an amazing player and he's the go-to guy when they are playing 5-on-5. And he's been great. But in my opinion, the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals should have been Tyrese Halliburton because he's actually the captain of the ship. He's the one moving the needle, and he's the reason the Indiana Pacers play the way they play. If there is no Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers don't exist as they are right now. So that's why I feel like even if stats don't back him up, intangibles matter. And I think he's the king, or he's the captain, let's say, of this team. Therefore, I think he should be the MVP. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to go with my prediction. And I'm going to say that it's partly prediction, partly what I wish will happen. I think maybe it's clear what my view is. I like Oklahoma. I think they are, in paper and in reality, they have been the better team the whole season. I think they have an amazing core, and they have the best player, Shea. And again, best offense, best defense, best net rating. Overall, they are the stronger team. But based on the points that I said, that maybe their defense doesn't match up that well with Indiana's offense, that they don't have a clear defender for Siakam, and that in last quarter situations, I trust more Indiana. I'm going to give the edge to Indiana, and I'm going to say that Indiana wins this in 6 games. And I'm going to say a bit further even. I feel like Oklahoma can win the point differential in the series. So I think both games that OKC wins, they might win it by a lot. But I think the rest of the other 4 games might be tight. And I think that's when Indiana takes over. And also, I think this series is going to be very tight. I don't think there is not going to be 3-1 neither way. I think it's going to be 2-2. And the 5th game is going to be Indiana stealing it in Oklahoma and coming back home in the 6th game and finishing it. Yeah, that's my prediction. And that's it. I'm very much looking forward to these finals. I think these both teams play amazing basketball. And they play a bit of different basketball with a lot of players. Very choral, like I said. Maybe not lots of ball movement, but lots of players involved in the game. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. That's all for today. I will try to catch up after game 1 or 2 of the finals. Hope you subscribe, hope you like the video, hope you follow everything. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye bye.